Hi, I'm Jocelyn Harvey, founder of Transform Within. In this video, I'd like to share the concept of anxiety and panic being subconscious protection. Now let's start by having a quick discussion on what I mean by subconscious protection. Now the most obvious examples of subconscious protection relate to your reflexes. So removing your hand immediately if you touch something hot, blinking and moving your head back if something comes towards you, slapping the spot where a mozzie is just bitten you. But we also have emotional-based reflexes. So for example, staying away from the person who always teases you at school or at work, or keeping your mouth shut when you hear that tone in your mother's voice, or she stands in that particular posture. Our subconscious mind takes in thousands of bits of data every second via our senses, and it determines whether the data matches any previous experiences of danger or discomfort. Now, if none is detected, the subconscious mind goes about keeping your body breathing, digesting, filtering, etc. And it lets our conscious mind stay present with what it's involved in. So creativity, rational thinking, logic, decision making, contemplating, reflection, imagination. However, the minute, well really the hundredth of a second, the minute the subconscious mind detects danger or discomfort of any kind, it will override any conscious thought or action to make sure you're protected. Now, it's actually reflexive in nature, which is a good thing, because we don't want the subconscious mind, thinking about, oh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to protect them? No, we want it to react immediately. Now, sometimes that can be a physical reaction, like holding your arm out to protect you or your kids. Other times it can be mental, like running a protective, what's often called limiting belief program. And it can also be emotional, like having an angry outburst or feeling anxious or panicked. Now, it's important to know that because the subconscious mind is protective in nature in this reflexive way, it is 7 times faster than the conscious mind. And that's why you can have all good intentions to think, feel and behave in new ways, but if the subconscious mind gets tripped off, bam, all that goes out the window. Now I'd like to share a great example of the power and depth of the subconscious mind that it has to protect you. My husband and I watched a documentary which is made by a Jewish man who lost most of his family during the Holocaust. Now, he interviewed 2 mature men who both had been young sons of Nazi war criminals during World War II. Quite high ranking. Now, at the start of the documentary, the 2 men were friends. But by the end of their visits to key buildings, looking at written records and mass grave sites, etc., one man decided that he could no longer be friends with the other. Why? Because Hans simply couldn't face that his father had committed those crimes, and he wanted to keep believing that his father was a good and well-intentioned man. Even when he was presented with clear evidence, his subconscious protective mechanisms would not permit him to acknowledge it. As I was watching, I remember commenting that Hans was delusional because his denial was so strong, but I was also struck by the sheer power of the subconscious mind to protect us and keep us safe. Even though we could judge Hans as being morally wrong, I could see that every cell of his being was in survival mode. You know, Hans was over-identified or strongly attached to his father to the point of confusion. So if he were to condemn his father to his subconscious mind, it would mean that he would in fact be condemning himself because they were so close. And because his father died for his crimes, for Hans to condemn his father would mean death for him too, figuratively speaking. That's how the subconscious mind works. It's just powerful stuff. So with respect to anxiety and panic, you not have any conscious choice in the moment, you know, that it gets triggered by the subconscious. There's no conscious mind there at all. And because it's protective, you know, and in the case of panic, it's survival. It's a survival mechanism. So that's why we need to use holistic tools and develop mindfulness in the moment, you know, to give ourselves just that opportunity to create some space so that we can make some conscious choices and take conscious actions and not have those subconscious mechanisms. And one other interesting point that documentary, you know, is that the more that the others pushed Hans to admit and acknowledge the irrefutable evidence of his father's crimes against humanity, the stronger his denial protection resisted. So if you make anxiety and panic wrong or bad, it'll dig its heels in even more as well. So we need to develop an understanding for why it's there. So until next time, please be kind and gentle with yourself and be your own brightest cheerleader. Infinite love and gratitude.